MSSG and Co Chartered Accountants were appointed as an central auditor of XYZ Limited for financial year. The company implemented internal control for prevention and yearly reduction of any fraud activity. Very good. Auditor carried out test of controls and found no major observation. After the completion of audit, the audit report was submitted by the auditor and audit result was issued. Very good. Fraud pertaining to the area of inventory came to light subsequently for a period covered by the audit, and auditors were asked to make submission as they why audit failed to identify such fraud. Oh my god. Auditors submitted that because the inherent limitation of audit, it is not possible to get pervasive evidence of certain matters while fraud. Do you think the auditor was correct statement? Also discuss certain subject matter and assertion which is difficult to detect material misstatement due to potential effect of inherent limitation. So inherent limitation is something which is not able to do. There will be fraud, but we need to substantially reduce the material risk by doing substantial audit. Materiality should be determined and substantial procedure should be followed to reduce the risk to reduce the risk to assessment level. So this is the procedure of the auditor. But in this case, what we see is certain assertion of subject matters where it is difficult to detect material misstatement due to potential effect of inherent limitation. Okay, auditor say that it's a limitation due to auditor. As per the AS 200, overall objective of independent auditor and the conduct of an audit in accordance and of auditing. That is the overall objective. As the SQC1, because inherent limitation of the audit, there is an unavoidable risk that some material misstatement of financial statement may not be detected. Yeah, usually not everything can be detected, some can be left out. Even though audit is properly planned and performed and according to standard of auditing. Even though we do everything properly, some error may happen. Accordingly, subsequent discovery of material misstatement of financial statement resulting from fraud or error does not by itself indicate a failure to conduct an audit in accordance to standard of auditing. So after the audit is completed, they may found a material misstatement. Doesn't mean that the fraud has been there while doing the audit. However, the inherent limitation of audit is not justified for auditor to be satisfied is less than pervasive audit evidence. It has not been justified by that. Whether auditor has performed the audit in accordance with the standard of auditing is determined by the audit procedure. As per the audit procedure, everything to be taken. Performance and circumstances. What is the performance and circumstances being taken? Sufficient appropriate audit evidence obtained as a result of therefore and suitability of auditor report based on evaluation of the evidence in light of overall objective auditor. On the light of the auditor, sufficient appropriate audit evidence to be taken by sufficient appropriate audit procedure to be followed. As per that, audit evidence should be taken and evaluated. That is a responsibility of the auditor. In this case, the fraud pertaining to the area of inventory came to light subsequently for the period covered by the audit. Auditors are asked to make a submission as to why the audit failed to identify fraud and why that been happening. Auditors submitted that because of the inherent limitation of audit, it is not possible to get pervasive evidence certain matters like fraud. Yeah, he said that. Auditor statement is incorrect, provided that he has performed an audit in accordance with standard of auditing. As determined by the audit procedure and sufficient and appropriate audit evidence is obtained, and after performing all audit procedure, he is not able to obtain audit evidence about the existence of fraud. He had done, but he is not able to do the audit. The following are substance matter an assertion where it is difficult to detect material misstatement due to potential effect of inherent limitation. What are they? Fraud. Particular fraud involving senior management and collusion. When the fraud is done by the senior management and collusion with the senior management, it is difficult to find out. Existence in complete and related party relationship transaction. Related party transaction happen, please, then the fraud is difficult to find out. Occurrence of non-compliance with law and regulation. Compliance of law and regulations is there. Non-compliance, then fraud happens possible. Future events or conditions that may cause an entity to cease the continuous going concern. Some events that may occur that may result to going concern problem. Then we can say the fraud may occur. Other than this, the auditor should find the fraud. That is the responsibility of the auditor. The auditor's reason is unacceptable in this case.